Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Talking Skritt. I'm your host John, better known as Dale around Yak's Ben, with a fantastic show for you. Phantasms and Alacrity Changes, WvW World Restructuring, and I hope you like Comrades and Boats, because ArenaNet's got something perfect for you, and much more. But first, let me introduce you to my fellow host. He is a moderator over at MMO Champion. With all the WvW World changes, are we deep in the valley of hype, or do we think it is nothing but a criminal attempt? Say hello to Jim.
I hope it's not criminal, but I mean, it's either continue world linking or do this other thing. So I don't know.
Criminal.
Feels like you hit me with an feels like you hit me with an age-old question without saying age-old question.
Oh no, we still got an age-old question. Speaking of which, he streams over on Twitch where he answers the age-old question. With the early balance news about Mesmer changes, are we going to find out it is nothing but an illusion or a reality? Say hello to Age.
It'll be very real, and I'm glad.
Ouch. Come out swinging. Well, before we get to what little bit we know about what to expect for the balance change that's going to be happening next Tuesday. They, I think halfway through, had a blog post about the like a guild chat, and it was like, oh, we're gonna have like devs on about the POF story, and I'm like, I mean, I guess you're trying to avoid people worrying about spoilers. But yeah, it seems
been
like
what, 3 months?
Yeah, I mean, we've already gone through episode 1 of the of the season, so it's like, I was like, okay, and then we got like a forum post that kind of accompanied it, saying that they are also going to have a little bit of an announcement that this Friday during the guild chat, that kind of focuses on celebrating the community and kind of what they wanted to do with some of the marketing stuff to get that rolling. And if you haven't been around or haven't been listening or paying attention, marketing has been, in a lot of people's opinion, shaky and not that great. So
Questionable.
yes, that's a good way to put it. And so, yeah, I know I was hyped when I heard about this. I was like, oh, sweet. It's going to be the first step in, this whatever master plan for this new marketing guy that came in and stuff like that. But yeah, so guild chat comes around on Friday, and I think it was like the first 5 minutes was dedicated to it, and it was just an announcement from Ruby. It didn't have the actual dev on there, and I'm curious what your guys' opinions are, because I saw a lot of people in chat going, like, saying it was so great, it was this and that, but basically we'll tell you what you're going to get out of this. If you log in, and I think it starts February 6th, if you log in at any time in February, you're actually going to get a endless friendship tonic, which you can see here. They kind of showed off a little image for it. It kind of just has hearts over your head, basically similar to the Harpies potion, I believe.
Back to me. Sorry.
But yeah, you're gonna get that for free, and if for some reason your friend or you miss logging in this February, supposedly it's gonna be there every February. So if you do miss it, you can pick it up in a year. But what are your guys' thoughts on the endless friendship tonic thing? And I'm assuming this is the celebrating the community portion, or part of it.
Who has? Do you have a soundboard with crickets?
Yes. I can't even play it on here. So go ahead.
Yeah, that's. I appreciate the thought, but giving me something that's going to take up inventory and bank space when that's kind of already at a premium with all the new crap that's dropping out of all the new maps.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. And worst
That
part
is,
is
it's like-
if you think about it, in a year, are they going to have a system where they're like, oh, you already have this on your account, we're not going to send you another one, or just go, here's another one, and you're going to make me delete it, which I don't know 100%, but I imagine it'd be something where it's like, well, are you sure you want to delete it? Type in the full name. Are you really going to make me do that every February? And possibly if they do this more often, maybe it's different months. Like, am I going to have to, this is me speculating on if they do it more, but right now it's just going to be February.
Maybe subsequent ones like consume karma or something, or
Hopefully,
I don't know,
otherwise we're
but-
going to have another mini Queen Jenna problem.
You and Hat think along exactly the same lines.
Oh. Yeah.
I, without some kind of tonics tab to go along with this, as much as I appreciate it, I really don't want them giving me endless tonics for anything. Because if this is going to be something that they do more often going forward for like how they appreciate the community, they're going to force us to delete some of these things.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I know people will probably delete these tonics before they buy more bag slots.
Mm-hmm. And you raise a good point of like, you know, we talked about in the past, like a tonic slot similar to the mini pet thing. Because honestly, I had mini pets, I never used them. I have one now defaulted on each of my characters for, you know, whatever reason. But that's just because it automates that when you go into a zone, if it can spawn, it will. That's the downside about the tonics, is like, thanks for giving me this thing that takes up a bag slot, and every time I instance, I have to re-equip it, like double click in my inventory. So it's like, so hopefully maybe they're looking into some kind of tonic wardrobe thing, or hopefully, knock on wood.
It would be
I don't know. I don't see it as that big of a deal, but I guess that's personal preference.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, people set out to collect all the skins, right?
Okay, sure.
Why is it so far-fetched that somebody wants to collect all the tonics? But now, because of what they chose to go collect everything for, they have to dedicate like a whole character with 20 slot or 32 slot bags at this point to go out and farm 32 slot bags to store your tonics.
Yeah.
So,
And Jerry,
well,
I would have to agree, and yeah, I would like something along those lines, kind of like what Mithrin's even saying, like for all the toys, tonics, instruments, you're even suggesting a toy box. Yeah, I would love that, and it's because yeah, you kind of if you want to have like a goof off character with maybe the toys and stuff, you almost have to make a dedicated character, which maybe that's their intent. That sells a character slot. I don't know, but it just doesn't feel great.
Mithrin is the person I'm talking about. Look at that. 5 bank tabs full of instruments, tonics, toys, books, and gizmos.
Yeah. I have Davio the Romantic filled with all that kind of crap. Because he's my goof-off character.
So, yeah, I would very much like to see some kind of place for us to put all of these items. So, at that point, I'm probably either going to delete the mail this comes in, or, oh wait, you can't delete a mail until you take all the items out of it. They're going to make us type
I'll
the
probably
name
throw
in
on that
order.
character, but yeah, it kind of makes me not look forward to subsequent Februarys. Like, ugh. Giving me a typing test in February, thanks.
No. We'll see
Unless
how it
there's a
goes.
way to deal with it. But yeah,
Buys us a
like,
year
just
to
like
make
chat
it
saying,
on.
just like the wardrobe. I'd love to see something like that. But we were gonna say something, Age?
Buys you time. Get a year to make the tonic wardrobe. There you go.
There you go. I got a year to hope that they add that. Also, they announced you could share your story of camaraderie on social media with the hashtag GW2 friends or friendships, and then it's friend and then like ships, like sailing ship type thing. But
Oh no, it's not that type of ship.
Well, I know, but I'm saying for the people,
I know what
like,
type of ship
it's
it is.
short for relationship. Yeah. And you can use YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, or Facebook for Facebook post on the official Guild Wars 2 page. And also, if you add the hashtag GW2 giveaway, you could win one of the following. And when I got the, where did it go? There we go. So that's kind of like there. You don't need a slash with that. That's just showing what they meant by friend and then ships type thing. But yeah, for the contest itself, like I said, if you put hashtag GW2 giveaway, you could be one of the following people. That 50 people will get a $10 coupon for the GW2 Fan Forge. 5 people will get a commission done by a GW2 creative partner for 2 in-game characters of your choice. And I think they even recommend, they're like, oh yeah, you could do one of yours and maybe one of your favorite character, like NPCs or something like that. So 2 people will get a chance to go with a friend to visit ArenaNet, which includes round trip during PAX West. So they pay for your flight, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same location. That's usually how those competitions tend to work. They will give you PAX West badges for all 4 days, 6 days, 5 nights in a hotel room, and you can choose 1 or 2 rooms for the winners. And $50 per day to cover food and travel expenses. So that's a pretty awesome grand prize.
That's a good deal.
But yeah, like I said, you have to enter, like I said, make sure to not only put the hashtag GW2 friendships, but also hashtag GW2 giveaway. That will enter you into that. So, but I guess my question is, do you guys think this is good marketing effective marketing? Like, is this, I don't know, making their player base their advertisers and like all the stuff that they wanted to do in the past?
Well, if you're making people post stuff on social media, yeah. And there's a solid prize behind it, so it's gonna generate more than a few posts. So I'd say this is good marketing.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's bad because I can't enter.
Well, then you just need to move to the States, clearly.
But yeah,
just don't.
It's marketing towards the players, I guess, and getting people interested. It's sharing the positivity of like meeting up. What friends or comrades you've made over the years of playing Guild Wars 2, in addition to giving out cool prizes as well. So it's kind of marketing towards the community, I guess. But also, I guess it's kind of it a little bit markets to outside people who don't really play. It's like, oh, look what this the company's doing with their game and things like that. So it's pretty cool.
I like the actual contest thing that they're doing. Like, I think that, like, kind of like what you guys are saying, like, it's players sharing their experiences and not like the or blah 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 is great random
God,
whoever that is. I think this is a little bit better, and it's the player writing it and they can actually write their experience. I think it's a great way. I've seen other games kind of do this type of thing. Because this is kind of similar to their, like, I've said this before, I'd like to see more of their events, like they did the, like, oath for I remember someone said it in chat before, but it was like the oath for good gaming deal or something. Like, it was like, I will not do subscriptions anymore, but like it was an oath that people could like recite for ArenaNet. They would like tweet out their or have like a video that showed off like people saying the oath. Like it was a nice little marketing thing. What I'm not a fan of is the tonic. Kind of going back to it, because I kind of lump these two things together, even though the tonic thing is going to be a repeating thing.
I feel like the tonic is more like a Valentine's thing, right? Like just throw it in there, like everyone gets this for free, and then they add all the stuff in the gem store, like the box tonics and all that stuff.
Well,
So
I mean, it's under the umbrella of showing support to their community, and I don't know. For me, it just feels like they're throwing stuff at the player, and it's not empowering the player, which I think would serve better if they were able to empower players rather than.
So the reason I think this is good marketing, and I didn't really get into why when I said I thought it was a good campaign, is that they are asking players to talk about their experiences in the game with other people. And, one of the things that people have always said from like Guild Wars marketing stuff is that Guild Wars 2 has one of the friendliest online MMO communities, right? So they want players, to put on social media where stuff will get shared and seen by people who don't play the game, their positive experiences with other people in the game. So we have the friendliest community. Look at all of these examples of people who had awesome experiences with friends.
Yeah. No, I like I said, I think the contest is a good step forward and in a positive way. I just feel like the tonic is like, if we get more of those, it's just going to feel like a tchotchke type thing. I'd rather, and this leads to one thing I kind of brought up, and I brought it up last week during pre-show, which was like, I really would like them to look into like maybe like Twitch drops, which for people that don't know, if you have your, I think it revolves around if you have your account linked to the game, that particular game, when you watch it, depending on the dev decides what it is and whatnot, like what they can get, you'll get something for watching him for X amount of hours. I've seen some games only do it with their official one, like, oh, there's a Twitch drop when you watch our dev stream, which I guess in comparison to be like if you watch Guild Chat, so it gets people in to watch Guild Chat. Now, I've seen other companies, and I actually I remember Chat was talking about Dreadnought. While I've never played that, I do have a picture of it here. Basically, they have it set up where when you watch any of their streamers, whether they're partnered or not, I don't know if they have a partner program or not, you randomly get one of those items, and I don't know really the value out of them personally, but you can potentially get those. And
is this
like Angira's saying, I recently like that's where I kind of learned about them more so was with Warframe. And what I like about it is with Warframes, and I think anybody can do this, and I have the image here from Warframe itself. They have like two tiers. One, you get something for just linking your accounts, which, okay, awesome. The other one is basically if any streamer gets an achievement while you watch it, you get a random item. And also their partnered streamers, so basically like our affiliate program for Guild Wars 2, there's some like kind of thing in the game, like if you survive a whole night in this one area, which is supposed to be more difficult, you get a special sigil like decoration thing from that like shows, I think, their like Twitch image or something like that. I don't know 100% about it, but it's something special, unique to each partnered streamer. Like if they could do something like that, so I mean nowadays it's easier and easier for people to stream as long as you have the computer. Like it's not real, like Streamlabs made their own OBS thing that kind of very much streamlines it. I mean,
it's pretty cool.
And there's loads out there, but I'm just saying like they literally, like, I think you can click it and it'll pretty much try to figure it out as best as possible for you, and it worked pretty well, I would say. But
yeah,
so it's like one of those things, like if you could access the gamers that aren't your partnered streamers, I think that would be another beneficial way, in all honesty. Because I think that's the one thing I constantly say during after show, because we usually tend to, when we're done with the after show, we usually try to find someone to host. I've told some people in the past, just want to get viewers. I've been like, you should play Guild Wars 2, because if you say you're playing Guild Wars 2 for the first time, or you're a noob to it, I've seen so many streams fill up that way, because Guild Wars 2 people love to help each other. And I think that's an MMO thing where it's like, I want to see your excitement and you light up when you see this cool thing happen. Like, if you could reward your player base and you're not technically a partnered streamer, I think that would just go so much further for even the little streamer that might stay longer and get the word out that way.
I agree with that. Yeah, most of my builds in PvP, like QED, taught me the wonders of Greatsword on Warrior in PvP. I started using Greatsword on my Warrior because of QED from chat. I started working on a Soul Beast build because of a guy named Billnum, who shows up for Zero to Hero Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's the same as fuck.
But I don't need a peanut gallery, thank you. But
we already did our selling out podcast. That was what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
But seeing people in Guild, like, I always love talking to people in chat about Guild Wars 2 because there's always so much dialogue about trying new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm not, like, to bring up PvP as my basis, is like, I'm not super salty about Scourge because I've always had chat to help me deal with, like, the frustration, and also to offer, like, advice on either specific games or just things to try based on what I'm playing. Like, don't play Warrior. Makes me sad.
Spellbreaker.
Doesn't work.
Oh, not anymore?
You don't have resistance. Scourge says bye-bye to all boons.
Oh, yeah. Feels good, man.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think that would be great with how many achievements there are in the game. It's like, if they did something similar to what Warframe does. I don't know the ins and outs of it. Like, if for some reason Guild Wars 2 devs first time hearing about this, if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll have the dev Twitch drop, that, like, the Twitch drop page that goes straight to Twitch. That way you guys can research it more. But like I said, I just learned about it in the last month myself. But I think it's definitely a cool thing that, I don't know, I think streamers are always trying to find a way to reward their person and also them staying around and watching. Like, it's, great for both. And if, like, I know Warframes itself does, you get a random item. I don't know what the loot table on it is, but what if it was like something small from the gem store? Like, maybe this is where you could get boosters or a rare chance to get a Black Lion key. Like, oh my god, like, you'd probably have people farming people's streams, like, for a rare chance. Like maybe put your horrible RNG into that stuff, where it's like, it's a 0.1% chance to get a Black Lion key, or whatever numbers they want to do. But
reward tracks for watching Guild Wars 2 streams.
No boy.
Integrated Twitch. No, that's possible to do, to be honest.
Just integrate it with your, like, if you're watching a PvP stream, you get reward, you get progress through your reward track in PvP, and for WvW, you get your WvW reward track.
I would make it a separate reward track, like its own reward track, and just, I don't know, give stuff at the end.
Well, I was thinking, because I don't know if they can, like I said, I look in the ins and outs of this. I don't know if they can manually do the stuff or something, but imagine how intense it would be, like, if the next time, if we do there's another big PvP tournament, whatever side you pick, like, that winning side, you get like a Twitch reward that's like maybe a decoration of your guild hall that's maybe their guild or their team logo. So it's like, hey, I watched that, or something like that, and it kind of makes that feel better for, like, the people that are PvPing, because their logo is now in, like, loads of people's guild halls or something. Or next time there's a raid wing, people like to race for those. What if it was like, you had Mighty Teapot with his guild, trying to run it. You had, like, some of the other, big raiding guilds, like, trying to do their own stream. Whoever's watching those streams, whoever gets, like, the first down or something, maybe gets a special Twitch drop. like, oh, like now people are invested, people are interested. I want a free thing, like. But
No.
I don't know.
I
That was
think
stuff that I was starting to spitball, but like I said, I don't know the full ins and outs of the Twitch drops and if they're able to be so manual or not. But
it's a good idea to actually promote the streams a little bit more, because it's kind of hard to. I haven't seen a lot of the stream promotions being done recently. I've seen some of the YouTube videos being featured on the Twitch channels, on their Twitter. Obviously, the creative art streams have been featured quite a bit recently, since it's fairly.
yeah, I was
new.
gonna say I've seen the art stuff a lot more, and that's why I like this Twitch drop thing, because I guess you can set it so it's like anybody that's playing your game, and also maybe have stuff that's special for your, partnered ones. That way, there's still that level of like, oh, I'd still want to be a partnered streamer with Guild Wars 2 or Warframe or Dreadnought or whatever.
It's
other
definitely
games have
something
the
they
Twitch
should
drop.
leverage.
Yeah. But I don't know, like when I saw that, I was like, this is such a great idea, and I don't know why more games are doing it. And I don't know if there's a money thing for it, but I remember, like I said last week, I was talking about pre-show, and I only knew about Warframe, and I think it was Hat that was talking about Dreadnought, because a lot of people were saying, well, Warframe brings in, like, for example, their community show thing where they talk about the game brought in like 20,000 people. Now that's granted across PC and the consoles, whereas Guild Wars 2 is solely, and I think Guild Chat maybe brought in, I think 3,000 or 4,000, but they said, I think Hat said, Dreadnought has substantially less people, so I guess it doesn't sound like there might not be a huge barrier to entry for a game company, but like I said, I truly don't know. But that was my thoughts on it, of where they could hopefully go with the marketing. That's something I'd like to see. But any other thoughts? Well, like we talked about, like that stuff that was showed off was like kind of the first like 5 or so minutes of Guild Chat. They still had the rest of Guild Chat to go, and they talked about basically all of the Path of Fire release, not season 1. So we're not really going to throw up a spoiler tag for this if you haven't gone through the new expansion stuff yet. I mean, it's been a good long time. But it was kind of cool to hear some of the backstories of them designing and making design choices and stuff like that. Like, I remember the mummy commands when you're helping one of Joko's generals or whatever, and you have all those minions and stuff, and
that was really fun. Command, actually.
Yeah, it was definitely good, and them trying to figure out, like, it sounded like their biggest thing was trying to make it fun for, like, if you go solo through it, but also if you have someone with you, then it's not just a cakewalk. So
it was a lot of fun. Actually took 20 minutes to just make an army of mummies before actually continuing that storyline. It's like I am not continuing until I have max mummies, and then I'll continue.
Yeah.
I was a mummy because I wasn't the instance owner. It was okay.
Yeah, and like other things, like I think they were saying like they almost didn't do the whole like recreation of the Nightfall last instance versus Abaddon in the Cormyr instance, but they were like, oh, it's a lot of work, but hearing that praise afterwards, they were glad that they made that choice, which I'm definitely glad that they made that go in, because that was definitely a nice visual way to show the story leading up to that god-wise.
Yeah. I really like the Assyrian Commander box story. That was actually that was pretty amusing, because I didn't think about it till now. It's like, wow, it's true. We're on a podium when we to make that speech.
Yeah, for people who don't know, in the last instance, you kind of have to make a speech, and you're standing in front of a podium, which is great for most characters, unlike like Age was saying, are small Asuran. Well, apparently, and I haven't gone through it on Asuran, so I never realized this. If you go in on Asuran, and it's only then, it will have a little like apple box that you can stand on to deliver your speech. So I thought that was a nice little touch.
That was pretty good.
It'd be funny if, like, in the part moving up to it, you just see somebody kind of walk in with the box and set it down, walk away.
Oh, what if it just appeared there and you looked at it like you saw someone in the distance walking away, like you knew, for some reason you knew they set it up, and it was just the tail end and it looked like Tybalt. And you're like trying to chase after, and it's just like you turn the corner and they're gone. It's like
it would only matter that much if they were Order of Whispers. So
it would matter forever, for all
like
time.
That Goku scene. It'd be like Dragon Ball Z Goku scene at the end where he's just disappearing. He's like,
yeah,
and it just goes.
Oh.
let's not get started on stuff from the personal story, from release. That's a rabbit hole.
Get a little personal.
But I think one of the biggest things, which was like speculated on, was, and they finally kind of confirmed it, was what was their name? The Balthazar's
Herald of Balthazar.
Herald Balthazar. And before, you could find notes lying around about their past before they became the Herald Balthazar and stuff, and a lot of it seemed to point to a particular character. Well, they finally confirmed it, that it was in fact Devona from Guild Wars 1, which, for people who don't know, was a warrior character. Eventually you can kind of get them as a henchman, but
was she? Oh, she wasn't integrated into the follower system. She was just henchman.
Yeah, she was just a henchman.
She was like in every campaign, now I think about it.
Yeah, she was kind of like, I would say she was kind of supposed to be the Destiny's Edge of Guild Wars 1, except they didn't really have one. Because in Prophecies, you went to Devona for like a lot of the warrior skills. She was kind of like the named character for warrior skills. You had Aiden, I think, for Rangers. You had I forget the Necro lady's name.
Eve,
yeah.
I think, yeah.
Like and you had like Sin and stuff. So like they kind of seemed like they were kind of the, if they would ever write a story about the player character, it would probably be like, this group with their friends type thing, to be able to tell the story easier.
Herald. That's in relation to the Curtain Herald. Duly noted.
Yes, because Devona was in Ascalon.
Yep.
It was the Ascalonian Herald.
Totally different.
But yeah, so a lot of cool things. Like, if I'd recommend it if you ever want to hear about decision making stuff, like behind the scenes. Definitely was a good listen for that.
Do you think they're ever going to use any of this, like the Guild Wars 1 name dropping stuff, and be like, you can still buy Guild Wars 1, it's just link right over here? Like,
I think for lore hounds it would be good.
Like, because you get one of the...
It wouldn't hurt. I mean...
One of the reasons why I found Guild Wars 2 as compelling as it is because I know Guild Wars 1 existed. It's the reason I found World of Warcraft compelling, is because I had played Warcraft 3 and I had read a bunch of the books. I knew what was going on before World of Warcraft. So, yeah, like anybody who wants to know what happened before, it's just like, hey, yeah, you just click this link over here and you buy the original game and you go and play it, and it's still pretty good.
I would like to see like almost like guild chat where it was like some of the Guild Wars 2 devs that maybe didn't even work on Guild Wars 1, like play Guild Wars 1 or something, like, and like maybe use that as like a, hey, if you're a lore hound, and that way it kind of, because that's my one I could see them having that be their one worry, is it's such a different game that,
I can't jump, I can't dodge, what is this?
Hey, you can jump in Guild Wars 1 /jump.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not the same.
You know what I mean?
Dale gets an extended jump.
You can emote it. You can put it on a macro, spam it. I don't know if
Oh,
that's
can you?
against, like, I don't know. Probably you could run a script. I don't know. You're the computer
Macro
people.
to your keyboard.
Yeah.
I don't want to break TOS.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably
Oh.
definitely wouldn't recommend that, but
Oh boy, you keyed you tied a macro to an emote on your keyboard. Oh no, breaking TOS.
Yeah. I don't know.
that would be a great letter. Be like, yeah, we only allow like 2 jumps per minute, and you were exceeding it to up to 3 or 4 at times. So, yeah, we're gonna have to close you down.
If you wanted to limit it, you should have put a cooldown on it.
I think there's a cooldown on the emote itself. So.
Well, we'll find out.
Actually.
But yeah, I think that would be an excellent way to. Like, I like that idea of letting people know that Guild Wars 1 exists. Like, I mean, it is called Guild Wars 2, but, you know, maybe some people are just, maybe think it is like a closed, like a game that just you can't play anymore. Oh.
Yeah, I went there.
Ouch. Poor work.
Yeah.
Yeah, any other thoughts on the Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire story and Go Chat itself?
I wish I had time to watch it.
Well, I'd recommend
I'm
it.
disappointed I missed it. We had just lots of random problems happening at work yesterday, so I just couldn't watch anything.
Yeah, I had to pop away here and there, and especially because I won't lie, when I saw, like, you know, they kind of hyped up the whole marketing thing, and like, it was like literally a 5-minute segment, and I was like, like I literally almost missed it. Like, so I was like, well,
before we move on,
okay,
the announcement that the head of marketing put on the forums, I thought the first response from a player was "Ah!" And the head of marketing's response was, "Why you got to play me like that?" with a smiley face. Good on you, guy, for being cool. Like that's good.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
For anything of the Path of Fire story, I think they covered all the good bits, and I think we also covered it like in past episodes. But if you want to see more, you can go read my article. That's on Guild Mag. Yeah.
Hashtag subtle plug.
subtle.
Very subtle.
We can't afford graphics,
Yeah.
so we just have to do that.
But yeah.
Yeah, awesome. How is that
All my
book?
thoughts.
Now that you,
It's freaking fan. I'll show it afterwards in
Okay.
the after show, but it's really, really.
One thing I really want to see, Vlast Fractal.
that would be cool.
Actually, yeah, that would be cool. You can go back and see like all the stuff he's been through.
And it could even be like we get turned into Forged and we're fighting Vlast. And that's
Wasn't
part of it.
Wasn't there a part in one of the stories where you're collecting, like when he's relaying that message, and he apparently attacked some of the guardians that were trying to teach him? Like, what if you're one? What if you, like, you know, like the Asura
Plays
one,
the
like,
Guardians.
yeah, where you load in as one of the Exalted, and like maybe eventually, like you might actually have to fight Vlast.
Yeah, like I'd be totally on board for something like that, because I feel like, and I totally understand why they didn't give us a, you know, mentor character, so to speak, somebody who would have like all the answers, because that would be like, oh, here, have some answers delivered by a convenient character that you didn't know existed 15 minutes ago. So it would just be cool to get an after the fact kind of, here's some of his backstory. And fractals seem to be a really good way to deliver that.
That is a good point, Zachary Ox, that one of the challenge missions in Guild Wars 1 was protecting an egg, which now we're, you know, we know that that was the Vlast egg. But
Yeah, I never thought about that.
I would like to see like an update or like maybe what happens after that, like after like maybe you're running with the Vlast egg from like all the you know, destroyers and stuff like that that are, because maybe it became overwhelming or, but yeah, I'd like to see like something tying in with that. I was thinking that too, chat, when he was saying a character with all the answers. Like I was about to be like, Timey.
Yeah, I'm hoping that her enthusiasm for Deus Ex Timey is, or Timey Ex Machina is going to be tempered a bit from Daybreak, but we'll see when we hit episode 2.
Maybe she'll be on those sidelines because she had insurance on her bot. Now she has some money, so she can go on vacation. Speaking of making money,
oh my god,
that was a stretch. That was a bit
Yeah,
of
it
a
was.
stretch.
Where's that gift from Trolls 2? Oh my god.
I think it was released on Massively, but there was also a Reddit post talking about the top 10 premium PC games by revenue in 2017, which was done by I always blank on the company. What is it? SuperData. That's it. But and it you know, for people who don't know SuperData, it kind of tries to take any data it can get from, you know, sales and stuff that they can easily get a hold of to like kind of insider information that they know of. But then they do like different games, like they have the free to play games, and but apparently Guild Wars 2 was in the top 10 for premium PC games, and I think it came in at around 8 with they said $87 million, which kind of sprung up the whole thing of people saying like, oh well, they always say that, you know, the defense of, you know, the devs have to eat and stuff like that, and that's why they have to charge us, you know, so much for the gems and stuff like that.
I'm actually wondering. So I don't know why WoW isn't on this list.
Well, and I think that's ultimately the problem. Like, this is a lot of stuff I was going to bring up about SuperData, which also I recommend. If for people that don't know, MMO Bomb, they do a free-to-play cast, and it has a lot of people. If you're familiar with, you know, where we came from with the GBN stuff, it has a pretty much, I think, a lot of everybody I've usually seen on there have been at Gamebreaker at some point. So definitely recommend if you're still a fan of a lot of those personalities. But their most recent one, I believe about 40 minutes in, they talk about this specifically in general, not just focusing on Guild Wars 2 itself, but they do bring up that that in the premium thing that it doesn't include WoW, which they even do a little bit of safe math, saying that even if you said there was only 1 million subscribers and they were paying $10 for whatever reason for subscription, they would still be like, you know, in that list. Like,
yeah, it's kind of weird. Maybe they like forgot.
I mean, I can kind of understand a lot of people disregarding WoW in studies like this, because World of Warcraft would really skew the end result, because it's still a subscription game and it still has several million people playing it.
Wait,
I didn't.
Let me look up the definition of premium PC.
I'm curious what their definition for premium is, but it could also be that they don't really release their numbers anymore, you know, as much. So maybe they don't want to just guesstimate. But it's kind of weird that they would just fully leave it out. But and like chat's saying about, you know, inconsistencies at the best of times. Like I said, if you watch that free to play cast, they kind of do the math, and like for example, some of the NC Soft games, because you know we have a couple that are in there for the free to play and MMO thing, or not MMO, mobile. We luckily, since they are publicly traded and they have the investor calls for the quarterly reports, we know 3 out of the 4 quarters. And what the numbers that they're suggesting that they'd have to make up to meet these numbers are pretty out there. Like, for example, I know, I think it was Blade and Soul. If they have to have in this Q4 report, they would have to literally have their best ever quarter, and that's including launching in the Eastern market, Western market, everything. Like, they would have to have a better quarter just to meet that number that they're speculating for Blade and Soul to match what they know from Q1, 2, and 3. And I mean, Guild Wars 2, like I know they brought it up, the Guild Wars 2 thing. Yeah, they would have to make this is where it gets tricky, is they'd have to have more sales than Heart of Thorn, like way more sales than Heart of Thorn's value that they got during that quarter. Which, it's like, well, this one was received a lot more positively, yes, but it was also at a half price, so they'd have to sell double what they had. Now, granted, this is also the worrying thing, is how many people bought those $100 packages for the mounts, to, like, that could have really boosted the sales, which, if you think about that, that might actually make it accurate if it's a good amount of people, which, if that's the case, oh boy, expect more.
Yeah. Let's not talk about loot boxes, please. I think we've done that to death.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is take that SuperData with a grain of salt. I mean, there's a lot of inconsistencies amongst all the other ones.
I'll say it's fairly high, I guess. It's kind of... even if it isn't supposed to be on the list, it seems like it'll be pretty much top 20, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, I think Guild Wars 2 is going to be a top game. I don't think it would be where it is if we had all the other games listed in there, but I think it would still be a fairly high ranking game. But yeah, like even Chad is saying, like, one of the I don't know which game, but yeah, one of the numbers they gave for Q4, they would have to have more than doubled quarters 1 through 3. Like, so I don't know where they're getting their numbers or values, but it's, while we haven't seen those quarter reports yet, I mean, maybe it is, which great for all those teams that have made probably their best quarters in years, but I just have a hard time believing it.
Yeah, and I agree with Zekriox. As a Western MMO, you're always going to be competing with World of Warcraft, because that's where World of Warcraft sits. Like, it's always going to be the Titan that is striding ahead of every other Western MMO. And honestly, I think it has one of the best combat systems in the Western MMO market right now. Mm-hmm. I think Guild Wars 2 has the best combat system to date in an MMO. I think mounts and traversal mechanics with gliding, between gliding and mounts, I think Guild Wars 2 also has the best traversal mechanics in a modern MMO, because my Griffin in World of Warcraft was like, shoo, sideways, backwards, forwards. Boring. Great once you had it, but after you had flying, it's like, okay, I need to get from point A to point B. Fly to height ceiling, point in the right way, auto run. With my Griffin, I have to think about it. And I can have fun by doing the dive thing. And apparently somebody on Wednesday was telling me that they moved so fast they got disconnected from the server. And they could replicate it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so, and honestly, I don't want anybody to think that I'm like saying, oh, they're truly not number 8. This is a dead game in reality. No, I'm like, I still enjoy Guild Wars 2. I can't wait for more story to go back and play more. I'm just saying, if you're using this as a tool to show people that it is a successful game, just know the faults in this. I still think, like I said, I still think it's going to be high up there. Do I think it's probably number 8 if we had WoW and other games in there? No.
Deo, You know, one thing you mentioned dead games. You want to know what makes people call a dead game? When they start closing servers.
Why are you doing
we
this?
are a dead game. You know why? Because there's some WvW World Restructuring coming on. I don't know why I did that. God.
High five, Dale.
Oh.
Guys, I want to make this clear.
I'm waiting for Age to turn off his
responsibility for
webcam.
this
Like,
game.
I'm out. So yeah, World v World restructuring. So yeah, I know we have World v World news, and it's not like we said last time, where it was
It's
just
good World v World news.
Well, I think last time, what was it? We were like, we have World v World news. They're thinking about it. This time, they actually have things to like actually talk about and show. And holy crap! So yeah, they had a forum post this past week, and they want to basically restructure the worlds. The design of how worlds will work was, and it's important to note it is subject to change. The goals for it are to create great matches, handle population fluctuations, balance teams, and diversify World v World experiences. So basically how it works, and these are kind of the three images they kind of showed off here, but I'll just have them up there as we talk about them. All the worlds will be scrapped, and players will now choose an NA or EU server. Instead, worlds will be regenerated in an 8-week season rotation, and players will be automatically placed onto a world. And World v World player level is taken into account, so if you have played in the past, that will take into account of your experience and whatnot like that. Designed to place enough players for the time zone coverage, so they've talked about that, where it's like you have one server who has great, maybe, you know, NA NA time zone coverage, but during like oceanic hours they maybe fall off, and I've seen that a couple times. That's been a problem sometimes in Yaxben, where it's like, oh, we made great strides, and then literally over the work day it's like everybody's back to where we are. like ugh. So this is to help, you know, alleviate that. Guilds will get a setting that flags their guild as a World v World guild, so friends and guildmates can play together. Guilds can form alliances in order to play together, which I think right now they're saying they want to do it between 500 to 1,000 people as an alliance, which, like we said, it's all subject to change. They would definitely want to hear people's feedback on this. Once the system is ready, players will have weeks to get their guilds and alliances sorted out. So, and I know people are already figuring out their alliances. Like I've already heard, you know, some of the guilds.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on this World v World restructuring?
Age, you're the resident WvWer, so I'm gonna let you go at it.
I think it's actually really good. First of all, thank you for some World vs. World news. That's very meaningful to progression of World vs. World. Thank you very much. Second of all, I do think that this is a really good change. I've talked about this in my streams a lot. I like it because it promotes diversity of matches, because, you know, every 8 weeks is going to be like some new matchup. It's not like this server is a server is all gone. They did say that transfers between NA and EU, you'll be able to still pay for that. They don't have a jump price for that yet, but, you know, you'll be able to figure it out. That's another thing that people need to realize, is that they're kind of taking a hit, because you used to be able to buy, you know, you should be able to swap between like NA servers, or if you're on EU, you used to be able to swap between EU servers, and you pay a fee for that. They're actually kind of losing out a little bit on that. So,
I mean, I'd like to see the numbers at this point. I mean, how many people are in World v World to warrant that they're going to switch servers?
The people who want to flip servers, pretty much. But I don't think it's done anymore anyway. But
I was gonna say, most of those people would just hoard gold and turn it into gems. So they're not Unless Guild
No,
Wars 2 Gold turned into a Bitcoin currency. I mean,
no, I mean like people who will legitimately go onto like a low tier server and do so well and just make it like a tier 2 to tier 1 server.
yeah,
Just for the
but I
fun
mean,
of it.
some of those bigger guilds that would do that, they would kind of save up gold and transfer it to
Yeah.
gems so
Oh
they
yeah,
could
yeah.
outfit their teams
Maybe.
like that.
I don't know.
And I know some that would genuinely just, you know, cut out the middleman and pay the money, but I'm curious of how big of a hit it would be, just especially at the state WvW World has been in up
Yeah.
until this point.
Yeah, I don't think it's done anymore. It used to be like 2 years ago people would do that. But it's also interesting because the way the system works in grouping people who you want to play with together. So now I can play with you guys. If we just flag Knights of Doyak as a World vs. World guild, we're all set, good to go. I actually, on my EU account, I asked Teapot for an invite to his World vs. World server, so I'll be able to play with him whenever. That'll be good times there. And the only people who have been complaining apparently have been
Server identity.
Okay, yeah. Okay, okay, there are two things, right? So there's server identity is one of the things that I've heard most about, and I think it's reasonable to understand. Like if you've been on like Tarnished Coast all this time and blah blah blah, you have that server loyalty. You know you like that server, you like playing on the server, and I understand that completely. But the thing is, server loyalty has to take a hit in order to make World vs. World viable again. It sucks to say, but it's a necessary evil, I guess.
And kind of like what Zekriox was saying earlier was this is kind of like what people have in a way asked for, is like they're making guilds have a value, especially in like they're finally like for all the people that are saying there's no Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2, well they're freaking bringing you Guild Wars like
in the format, in the game type that would be perfect for Guild Wars.
Yeah. So I mean, this is I think it's a great step in the right direction. I mean, at least on paper, this is probably months out, you know. But
there are probably loopholes and stuff. But, you know,
the other thing, like I was reading the thread, and it actually took I think until page 2 before I started seeing people get salty about it. And the people who are primarily salty about it are people who like to run into WvW and not join a squad, and they just follow a tag. They're not there to listen. They don't get on voice chat. They don't do anything. They just follow a tag and fight.
You should still be able to do that.
Right. No, I get that. But the thing is, their issue is I don't get to pick where I go then. And it's like, but you don't really interact with the groups in WvW in the first place.
Yeah.
So what does it matter where you go? You still get to follow a tag and fight.
Yeah. I mean,
and I've heard people mention it. I think what's going to hurt the most are these people that probably went to the top tier servers just to bandwagon, and
this is going to hurt people who are solo Zerg followers that are like, I'm on Blackgate, so I'm awesome because our server is awesome, and it's like the commanders and the squads and the people who organize things are awesome. You are a body on the field. I'm not saying you don't contribute, but you're just doing combat. You're not really contributing to the overall tactics of everything. So,
well, I mean,
are you really that awesome?
Zekriox, you're saying solo roamers are going to get hit the hardest. Like, I'm curious of why. They can still solo roam. It's just not going to be under the, Blackgate, Yaks Ben ban.
You want to talk to a solo roamer? We've got one in the show right now.
The thing is, he does have a point. Because there's going to be more coverage, because populations will not be so empty anymore. That means there's going to be a lot of havocs. There's going to be a lot of Zergs running around. So it's going to be a little bit harder to actually roam by yourself. I completely understand that aspect of it. There might be other roamers but they might be hard to find. It really depends. I'd have to see for myself. The style of roaming that I'm going to be doing, at least on EU, is going to be kind of like a scout / defender, so I can get to camps quickly and defend them and things like that. For NA is where I do mostly the solo roaming that I do on my streams. And I did yesterday at Crystal Desert, and that was just full of Havocs and Zergs, and I couldn't do much that night. But if it transitions into that with the new World versus World stuff, it's just something I'm going to have to get used to. Try to find a new way to roam solo, if anything. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's still a place in that. Like, granted, yeah, you might have to join a bigger guild or an alliance, but you know, I think it's that mentality of like you kind of have the mothership, this giant alliance that's running through, but you have, like Age is saying, these scouts or something that see if they can, like, you know, flag something or do something, like, you know, mess with the other side. Like, I think they'll still have a purpose. Or they,
yeah.
I mean, like what you're suggesting about, you know, the tier 1 roamers that are salty about it, they're preying on low population servers. It's like, well, you're not playing, like, you're literally
it's one of those
NPCs.
things where roaming should be really, like, I honestly think roaming should be hard. Solo roaming should be hard, because you are one person trying to get stuff done against an army. Like, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing in WvW if you're a solo roamer. So you're going to have to be better because there's going to be more people. So, I mean, I hate saying get good, but like Zekriox is saying, is you have to commit to be part of a guild, to be part of ops, because I'm sure there's going to be guilds that have spec ops squads. Or just take whatever world that you get assigned to and just get better.
Yeah,
so,
you're gonna probably have to play 1vx if you're gonna solo roam, and you have problems playing like squishy things. So
okay, yeah, Zekriox, I missed, like, when you referred to roamers, I was thinking like what Age does, where he kind of methodically plans it and is actually knows how to deal with those situations. But you're talking about basically someone that's tagging along mindlessly. Okay, then yeah, I mean, yeah, those people, yeah, you're going to have to somehow get into a good guild, or, you know, you'll ideally be matched with people that are at your level. I mean,
yeah.
Though since you've been exploiting the stats, you might be put up in a higher tier level and get crushed. But if everything works out, it should correct itself if it's basing it off your stats and whatnot. But
yeah, this is the other thing that's kind of the people who are complaining. It's just that they're on the winning worlds, right? Like, I would imagine the people, like some people in Blackgate or I think, is it TC who's up there now? Jay Corey, those ones. Maybe some of those people might be a little upset about this because, you know, they're on those high tier servers and they don't want to lose that status, I guess. But it all comes down to either you're playing with a guild, and if your guild is up to par, you should be able to do fine. If you are not part of a guild, you're just going to have to make things work, as it were. So it's going to be interesting. Oh, alliances are permanent, I believe. Like, in terms of, I think if you played Guild Wars 1 before, think of it as a, actually, I'll just explain it. So think of it as, let's say there are 8 slots that guilds can fill out to form an alliance. So that's kind of like what it is. So guilds can like come and go and things like that. It's
a guild of guilds, basically.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Just the next step up.
Yeah, they never made any indication that it was temporary. I mean, it sounds like pretty permanent, but I mean, if it's only up to 1,500 or 1,000 people, which is the numbers they're playing around with, if you for some reason get more people, does that mean you like? If
I don't know, yeah, there are a lot of logistics I might need to.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's going to be the problem, is people are going to get bumped if an alliance gets too big. But I think, like, that's one of the things is, like, it's basically you just get dropped from the algorithm. So that core of the alliance is going, like, it's going to rank every single player in that alliance based on their time in WvW. and it's going to basically make a cutoff that says we're building a tier 1 server, or we're building a tier 1 world with your alliance. You get this many people, and then basically it would take the cutoff there and probably take the rest of those people from that alliance, put them in like a tier 2 world. Because I really don't think they're going to, or they're going to make another tier 1 world and have another tier 1 matchup or something. But it's going to be like, the matchups are going to be weird when you get these giant blobs of alliances. So I don't know how it's going to function entirely, but like they said, this is still high level planning stuff.
Yeah. So
getting the actual like specifics and taking care of edge cases in programming is like 90% of bug fixing. Like that's literally 90% of bug fixing is because somebody put a space at the end of something, and it's like, why would you do that? I felt like it.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like at this point, because I know a lot of people are latching on to like the 500 or 1,000 or, you know, 3 guilds for an alliance or, you know, whatever. I think right now all we should really focus on is the idea behind it, like the system. Like, do you like this idea? Because like in the past we've talked about, like on the show, it's like, oh, it'd be cool if they had this system, and then we start talking numbers and people are like, oh, those numbers are ridiculous. I'm like, well, they have the internal statistics. They can figure out the number. It's just, is this idea good? So
yep.
I think that's what they're looking for at this moment, is they can play with the numbers and hopefully they stick with us to talk about the numbers. Like, you know, after they have the idea down, then they're like, okay, now we're thinking about, you know, 1,000 people. Is that good, bad, you know? But for right now, I think they just want the general idea, which overall, I mean, yeah, it's gonna hurt the idea of server identity, but I mean, it has only meaning in WvW World at this point, and I think it's a necessary thing for, you know, what otherwise WvW World's just gonna keep plummeting. I mean,
yeah, I think this will make things a lot better for us. Just hope it's not too late.
Well, if they start putting a gigantic push into WW, I think people will come back if they played the game for WW.
I mean, they got to be quick about it, because a lot of games out there are trying to do the whole realm versus realm, big scale combat stuff, like so. But chat's asking how many players can fit on a map like Eternal Backgrounds. Isn't it 100 per, or did they change that?
100 or 150 per world.
200 to 300.
2 to 300.
Okay.
Per world?
Per
or is
side?
that total?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the world or the maps?
How many players per world per map?
How many players per world per map?
So per team per map.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think around.
I thought it was 100 each at 300 total, at least at launch stuff, but maybe it's higher now. But
I think so. 100, 150. Yeah, you're probably right there.
So I figure they're probably looking to have the limit per world to have enough people to saturate all maps, and probably then some. But
yeah.
But I don't know. That's like, again, we're talking numbers, and this is just high level systems talk right now. So
yeah,
let's not get too mired in specifics when specifics can't really be applied yet.
Yep. Any final thoughts on the WvW World restructuring?
Sounds good, man.
Yeah, I agree.
It's good. Can't wait to see more.
And, you know, if you guys have a different opinion, like, you know, in chat we were talking about it, but if you're watching this on YouTube, definitely sound off in the comments. If you're one of the people that truly believes in server identity, I'd love to hear your perspective on it, because for me, while I've been on Yaxben this whole time from launch, while I love Yaxben, I'll always be Yaxben at heart. I really don't identify as like when I'm in World v World, like, you know, fight for Yakban. I'm like, let's just kill stuff. Like, take stuff and make it our color.
This is why you play your Necro in WW, right? Let's just kill stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't get changed. But we do know some changes that are going to be happening. They've already told us some stuff that's going to be happening for this balance patch, and boy, oh boy, is it Mesmers. Boy, when they talked about it being Mesmers, I'm sure a lot of people before they clicked that were like, oh no. Like, but they had two forum posts. The first one talking about phantasms becoming clones after their initial attack. So, and like, this is like a big like core change to the Mesmer. So phantasms no longer will persist indefinitely. Instead, a phantasm will attack once and then automatically be destroyed. If interrupted during its attack, the phantasm also will be destroyed. Phantasms still can be targeted by skills and take damage while alive. Phantasms can be destroyed by damaging skills before they finish their attack. A destroyed phantasm will be replaced with a clone based on your current weapon set. This clone will spawn regardless of how the phantasm was destroyed. The clone is spawned at the location of the phantasm at the time it was destroyed. And shatter skills no longer destroy phantasms, and phantasms no longer count towards the maximum illusion limit. They did say that we have done an extensive balance pass on all skills and traits related to phantasms, as well as several related traits and skills, and they have taken this opportunity to reevaluate some of the underperforming phantasms to rework them into more impactful skills. So, boy, is that a big like core change to the Mesmer in general.
I kind of like how Zekriox put it. TLDR, Mesmer Autopilot is dead. Because I think it was with the Phantasmal Duelist, the one that would do the basically the pistol thief.
Yeah, pistol
skill.
Offhand.
Yeah, I think that was one of the higher physical DPS setups for a Mesmer, was just spawn 3 Phantasmal Duelists and just auto attack or use non-shatter skills. I kind of enjoyed the dichotomy of shatter versus army of ones. I thought about that when I was on the way home while I was driving. Don't you shake your head at me, Age. But
that's good.
But with basically you're ignoring your class mechanic. I mean, sure, clones and phantasms are kind of your class mechanic because it counts towards your cap, but you're completely ignoring all of your shatters. So having them be a one-off attack and then turn into a clone means that you could, it kind of adds, one, they can make all of the phantasms more powerful because all of their power was based on them being able to continuously attack, right?
Mm.
Now the phantasms can be more powerful. Now this is actually good for players against Mesmers in PvP and WW because they're going to throw a phantasm at you, which means that they're building up their clones. It's also going to be good for Mesmer players because now you can do some weapon swap tech where you can phantasm weapon swap phantasm, and that means that you get 2 phantasms of your 2 clones of your second weapon set. Because from what they're saying, yeah, except Zekriox, that phantasms can be targeted, which is the difference there, I guess. But so say you go Greatsword, Phantasmal Berserker, swap to Sword Pistol, and then use another Phantasm. So then you've got 2 clones from your sword then. I don't know if that would be something you'd want, or you'd do the opposite direction, so you'd have 2 clones shooting Greatsword lasers. So you can kind of flip stuff around while your other Phantasm is doing their attack. And I think it would allow for burst clone production too. After you shatter, and then you can phantasm, clone skill, shatter. So it's more interesting play, I think. And I think overall that's better for the game.
Yeah, I personally don't like the passive game style when I raid on Chrono, because it's like, get 5 things up, leave them there until you have your cooldowns back. You don't shatter. And I'm like, that's boring. It really is. Like, I'll do it, but it's like, ugh, this is terrible. Like, I like pressing buttons. I don't play games to not press buttons. So I like
And
this
if some
change a
people are
lot.
thinking this might like change, like they might revert it, like this is from the dev like Robert Gee, which he's been like Mesmer's been like his baby for the whole time. Like, so this is pretty much in stone, especially at this point. So, you know, do expect
They're
these
sharing
changes
it.
if
I'm
you
pretty
are a
sure
Mesmer.
it's, yeah.
But
I'm actually
yeah,
kind of interested in how the traits, all the phantasm traits, are going to change out.
yeah,
Because there would actually be some pretty cool, like, there'd be some pretty cool counterplay with that, because if you have still, like, when your phantasm attacks, like when it lands an attack, you get a boon. So then people would be like, phantasm's coming in, stun it, dodge it, something. So that makes things a lot more interesting.
yeah. And any other thoughts on the shattering portion of the Mesmer changes?
That's about it.
Because
It's
that's
quite
not all they
shattering.
talked about for the Mesmer. They are also talked about alacrity changes, which, granted, this is mostly Mesmer, but there are other professions that use alacrity, which will
Just Mesmer and Revenant at this point?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. And so alacrity, they're now changing it to a boon. The recharge speed was 33%, now it will be 25%. The Tides of Time outputs alacrity instead of quickness. Updated the Chronomancer trait, improved alacrity, which now increases the potency of alacrity while decreasing the duration of incoming alacrity for the Chronomancer only. That's important to note. You'll find alacrity in some unexpected places, such as the Thief's Stolen Bundle, which is going to be Consume Plasma, and on the condition conversion list for skills like Contemplation of Purity. So, yeah, big change for alacrity, which I know we were kind of wondering this last week.
I find it funny that someone brought it up in chat, and then we had this long spiel about it, and then they did it. My only worry, and this is coming from a PvP mindset, is this is another boon that's going to be in PvP for Scourges to corrupt, and I don't know how that's. I'm going to have to withhold judgment on that, because there's going to be Scourge changes in this balance patch, and they already said there's going to be changes to the corruption table. So, my only misgivings about this is I hope nobody figures out a way to keep perma alacrity, because that was one of the problems they had in WvW at the beginning of HOT with Facet of Nature and Chronomancers with Boon Share. So, especially with that improved alacrity, you know, people think, oh, well, it's reduced duration but improved power. Well, I think it comes out to a net, if not positive, but neutral, probably.
I mean, I can get 100% boon duration on my Chronomancer, but I don't know how. I don't have like an offensive build, but I can like tank, for example, in War vs. World with it. But it's gonna be very interesting to see how it pans out. I think for raid it'll be fine. I think there is some boon rip in Sloth because of the Slublings, but I think raid will be okay. I don't think it'll suffer too much. I might be wrong. I don't know. I might be wrong, but
one of the things we were talking about last week is I was totally cool with alacrity being a unique buff, but that was mostly while it was just a chrono thing. I don't mind a spec having a unique buff. That doesn't bother me. But then they gave it to both Ventari for Revenants and to Renegade. So I think that's probably better now that they're putting it on the boon table. But I just, without knowing the full extent of all the other class changes, I don't know how this is going to pan out in PvP.
Yeah. It really depends on the changes Necro gets, right? and
yeah,
or
and Firebrand for that matter.
oh boy,
Half the problem with Scourges is Firebrand, so
Nothing wrong with Firebrand. Just take a look at my Revenant. Let me mount and keep my utilities. Sorry.
that's not the worst problem with Renegade or Revenant for that matter.
True. But it's the most important for me.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, I mean, like Chat's saying, it's really gonna up the value of those concentration builds for especially Mesmer, and so I guess they're going back to trying to farm, what is it, runes of the leadership or something that are
Runes of Leadership.
Yeah. So
Yep.
have fun with those. That's
a boon. That's like the best boon duration, I think.
yeah.
I have a sigil concentration that might actually go up now.
Hang on to that.
Yeah, I might sell that.
Cash in now. Start doing your Dragon Stand events now, because you're gonna have to get those runes. But any other thoughts on the Mesmer's Alacrity?
Nope.
We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let's move away from Mesmer and talk about the gem store, where we didn't have anything new. Oh wait, that's an illusion. We always have something new in the gem store.
It was a reverse transition. Oh dear God.
And always thank you to Delphi.net. Check out Delphi.net so you can spend your gems more wisely. So first up, we have the Grand Lion Griffin skin for 2,000 gems. And just like all the other special mount skins, it does not unlock the mount for you. I know in the past people have thought that. But it is a unique mount skin, account wide for all your characters, as long as you have the Griffin unlocked. But yeah, you can check it out there for 2,000 gems. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I am sorely tempted.
I see a lot of chat saying, yeah, this
out
of all of them so far, I do like this one, but
this one actually feels like it fits in the game, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this skin actually feels like it fits in Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
Bjorn actually in chat actually has this.
Yeah.
Pretty cool looking mount. And it has like different particle effects too. So.
Yeah. I saw somebody who dyed the whole thing like gold in Lion's Arch the other day, and I'm like, I think you're trying to go for a statue look, but you're kind of doing the wrong thing with the mount. You buy it for the dye channels too. But
it's really cool.
Yeah, Bjorn, that's what I was saying when the skimmer came out. I like the skimmer skin, but that was my problem of especially a 2,000 gem price tag was I barely use the skimmer. Like, I know a lot of people that tend to use, you know, I'd say the three that people probably use the most would probably be Raptor, Griffin, and then probably Jackal, but then Jackal becomes situational, and then Springer situational, and then Skimmer situational. Like,
for general traversal, I prefer using the Jackal. Like, that's just me. That's personal preference. I prefer the blink to the Raptor's jump. But those are, I think, the Jackal, Raptor, Jackal, and Griffin are probably the top three. And yeah, and Zacharyox, I'm fairly sure that there are people who bought this without actually having the Griffin unlocked yet.
Yeah, I could imagine.
I was about to say. I forgot what I was about to say. Damn. Wow.
That the lion is really friggin' cool.
It is freaking cool. But it was, my point was about, I lost. Oh yeah, Skimmer. I'm going to say that when Bubbles is actually introduced, Skimmer will be more vital to be used than other mounts.
No, because he's the deep sea dragon. The skimmer is only good on top of the water.
Yeah, but how do we get to the deep sea out there? Gotta use the skimmer. There's no land.
So you basically go out into the water up above, and then you have to dismount and dive down below.
Yep.
Great. You can run out there real quick, die. I'll grab your loot when you fight the deep sea dragon because you're rushing ahead, and I'll be happy. Then I'll probably die.
But I'll reset fast. I'll reset and get back faster. I'm just saying.
I see you just pass me like 5 times while I'm just paddling.
So, the skimmer, I would say, works really well on a lot of Corteria maps because water was used as kind of a soft barrier in a lot of the old designs, especially in the southern areas.
Yeah.
So the skimmer does have its uses, but I think it's primarily in older maps, which is weird, but it's where it is.
But we'll
yeah,
I'm quicksand in new areas.
I'm definitely considering buying this mount. I probably shouldn't because, you know, $25 mount, but I'm thinking about it. And good on you, ArenaNet, for getting me to think about it because this is cool looking.
It's cool looking, not enough for me yet, though. Like,
fair enough.
Yeah.
I like it, and if I was playing the game like more so, I probably would cave on this one out of all of them, but I'm just not wholeheartedly into the game at this point. But
not to say I still don't
love the look of it.
I still think it's a little onerous, if only because, like I said in a tweet when they released the skimmer skin, it's like the constant release of 2K gem mounts would be a little less annoying if there hadn't been the mount gate thing, but I think I finally understand. So a celestial lion, I doubt a rabbit footy, unless you can somehow make it yourself. Then again, I think I'm finally just coming around to being okay with the mount license, because I think they kind of learned the lesson there. But I want to wait and see what set 2 of the base skins give us.
How long do the 2K mount skins stay in the gem store? 2 weeks? I don't know.
Think about that.
Yeah, probably somewhere around there, or at least 2-week increments, depending on like what's coming in and what's going out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the mounts had like a timer on them when they were about to be removed. Yeah. So just keep
they
an eye on
definitely
the
do give
gem
a
store.
warning. Okay, Inks is saying 2 to 4. I was gonna say I think there have been some that were like only 2, but I felt like there's been some that were longer. And it does seem like, even though ArenaNet story-wise has moved away from the bi-weekly content, it still seems like updates are very, and like big changes are very bi-weekly. Like Inks is saying, it's like 2 to 4 weeks. It's always in like a 2-week increment. But any other thoughts on the Grand Line Griffin skin?
May buy, but I would say this one is probably the best value so far. Personal opinion.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are probably hoping to see a Sab Festival one. That'll be something. Oh, if there's a Sab Festival one and there's like a Griffin skin that's like making like noises, I think I'm gonna need this next thing from the gem store to out the air. Which
it's gonna be a B-Dog.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be. Come on, there's been a 5 skin mount pack for every single holiday so far. There's gonna be a Super Adventure Box one, and the Griffin's gonna be a B-Dog.
You mean a Bumblepug?
You mean a B-Dog?
You mean a Bumblepug?
You mean a B-Dog?
Hashtag Bumblepug.
Hashtag B-Dog.
We'll settle this like gentlemen. Arcane Marksman rifles at dawn. Now all you have to do is go in the gem store.
Well played.
and get them for a nice 600 gems. And you can see it here. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any sound or projectile changes. But, and I have heard people saying there has been some like clipping, like into the ground type thing on some characters, but
that's disappointing. I quite honestly, it looks like such a cool rifle, and it doesn't have any like Asura tech-based sounds or projectiles.
That looks like it should be a legendary.
Yeah, that's what Inks was saying in chat, and I've heard a lot of people say that. And it looks tremendous. I mean,
like the kind of like moving parts as you unsheath it. It's just missing footfalls and particle effects.
Mm-hmm.
Beam rifle from hell. Oh man,
looks like the Covenant carbine a little bit actually, which I have an example of because I have one right here. So,
Carnifex. That one wasn't a joke. They're not. It's not meant to be a joke rifle. Remember when we referred to him as the silly weapon? And he was.
I
dev
kind
came in. He's like,
I kind of feel bad for I kind of felt bad for the devs. Was like, it's not silly.
I like it. I'm gonna eventually make it. I'm gonna give it to my Asura warrior.
I know you're eventually gonna make it. You eventually make every legendary.
Yeah.
What was it last night? Or what was it during this week when we did that event for you and Taz and
into the lair of Zomaros? It should have been the lair of Age Night Road because it has all the legendaries on pedestals.
Yeah, it had all the legendaries. I was like, is this Age's like home instance that we somehow got into, or?
It's not silly. It's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it is a nice looking rifle skin for, I mean, 600 gems. That's normally what they have, like weapons have been lately. I mean,
oh yeah. I definitely say it's cool, but I'm just sad that there's no like sound effects at least.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen like some kind of sound effects to it, especially with the whole like collapsing and all that stuff. But
Zechriax also brings up a good point: is no caster class can use a rifle.
Oh,
only 3 classes can use a rifle.
Yeah, but it is
and none of them really like. And none of them really like it.
Actually, Hollowsmith can use it.
Deadeye, it's good, but it's niche. It's mostly PvE. Like
using World versus World. I keep telling people this. No one believes me.
Yeah. No, Inks, you're right. It's basically a legendary. It's just missing the extra particle effects.
I mean, it would be a very legendary-like skin. A legendary, you can still stat swap. So.
Yeah. I think people.
But I was going to say for Breakfast Torment, who said that it's nice, but they're making the divinity. I was like, yeah, but you're going to need a skin for it once you make the divinity.
Womp,
wow.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for the devs who made the rifle if they're watching.
I actually like it from the perspective. I mean, I probably wouldn't use it, but I probably wouldn't use that one too much.
Am I the only one who really likes that rifle?
I don't.
I mean, I like it for like it's like a boat with a lot of mechanisms and stuff like that, but I wouldn't put it on any of my characters. Is the problem. But
I don't like the blunderbuss looking rifles. Like, I don't want a shotgun. I want a rifle, because the only skill in the game that works like a shotgun is Engineer 3.
Because I mean, I don't use Rifle Warrior a lot, but it'd be perfect for my Sir. Just like it's like a huge hand cannon that he has. It's perfect. Love it. Great.
And Rabbit Footy, I don't think that can ever happen because of personal story stuff. Like, that's a lot of data to change for a race change.
Yeah. So,
race change is really hard.
Well, a lot of people ask for it. I doubt, it will happen.
And like, it would be hard for them to just say, oh, we'll just reset your personal story to the start, because then how are they going to flag your account? And otherwise you can just reset and get like a bunch of Black Lion keys. So
yeah, but you don't have to worry. Those things never drop anything good.
Yeah, we have inks in chat to tell us that the Black Lion chests aren't good value.
Yeah. Also some returning items available till next Tuesday: the Butterfly Harvesting Flute, the Champion of Tyria outfit, the Firefly Mining Flute, and the Swarm Logging Flute, all for 1,000 gems apiece. The Dynamic Exosuit outfit for 700 gems, and the Summit Wild Horn Springer skin for 2,000 gems. So,
Wow, really?
we were asking Ada, so it's in there for another. That would have put it. What we talked about it last week, or the week before.
For the
I think when
Springer?
we talked about it, was it last week?
It was only just up. Then again, I think maybe
Okay,
they put it back up because they changed the name of it. I don't know.
Well, Zachary, you are luckier than I. But and
nice.
honestly, the Champion of Tyria outfit, I don't know. I'm sorry, I cannot recommend that no matter what. I mean, if you like the look of it, but honestly, a lot of that was like, it kind of goes back to that, like, the tonic that they're giving us. A lot of people saw that thing data mine and were like, oh, this is going to be the thing for the like, they're gonna give us another outfit for, like, maybe the anniversary or something. That'd be cool. And then they're like, nope, this is an actual item. And it's like, you have the Guild Wars 2 logo plastered on your thigh. Like, ugh.
I would recommend the exosuit. It's awesome. I pull off an Iron Man, Gray Fox. It's all good. The flutes are cool too.
Didn't Arlie say she just insta-bought the flutes the first time they came out?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have like a logging item, I would suggest those ones because play music as well as give you some stuff. So, the Springer mount's cool, so that's totally if you want to spend those 2,000 gems. And the Champion of Tyria outfit, I personally don't like. It's just because I want pieces of it, and it goes back to the armor thing, but we won't go over that. So yeah.
I don't remember what the Champion of Tyria outfit looks like.
It was kind of like that gown thing that had, like, the side butt cape that had the Guild Wars 2 dragon logo on it.
But I think that's more telling of what I think of it than anything. Because I don't remember what it looks like, so I can't really recommend buying it. But then again, that's most outfits anymore, except for the exosuit, which is great if you want to do a Power Ranger look, which may or may not be what my Ranger has for my power build.
I will totally do a Ranger cosplay in game with you. We need more. We need 3 more people.
Okay, Chat's saying it's a heavy armor look, not a gown. I would say at most is it a heavy? Does it have heavy? Oh yeah, because it doesn't have those stupid weird antler things in the front of the helmet. Don't get that thing. I'm sorry. You look like a Beetleborg. I mean, unless you're going for a Beetleborg cosplay with a side skirt, I mean, more power to you.
Beetleborg was a good show.
It was a good show. Until you probably watch it modern day, because I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't ever crack your nostalgia glasses. Just enjoy the nostalgia and just let it be. Just don't go back and watch those things. Just don't do it.
Who doesn't like a massive Smurf that acts like Elvis? Wasn't that Beetleborgs? That blue thing?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Now we're turning it into the Beetleborg podcast. So no, okay. No, maybe it was VR. We're getting. We'll save all that for after show. So after show, we're gonna talk about VR troopers and Battleborgs but that's why you need to show up live. And we'll still continue to talk about Guild Wars 2 stuff. But Jim, where can they find you?
I can be found on Twitter at MalthanusMMO. You can also find me here on twitch.tv/TalkingSkrit every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Zero to Hero ranked PvP night, where I hit Plat 1 twice this week.
Hey.
I knew the second I hit it, I was going to lose it. So I have settled to a solid gold 3 middle of the pack, and I'm a-okay with that because I hit gold 2 last season. So
Nice.
let's just see if I can maintain that. Maybe I can get plat 1 by the end of the season, but if not, I'm okay if I stick in gold 3. Hope to see you all there.
You are to get top 250.
Okay.
Look, if Ascaniskill can get to number 11, I believe in you.
Yeah, but is he getting to number 11 by abusing
No,
Scourge?
actually, no.
Well, then I'll just have to get better with my Soul Beast build then.
Well, there you
There
go.
you go.
For the rest of the season, you're gonna have a rivalry with them. You gotta beat them. You can do it.
I just want him to get top 250. I don't want him to.
No, all or nothing. But Age, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch and YouTube at Age Night Road. I didn't put out a vlog for last month because of all the World news, and it's like, crap. I kind of want to do the thing, so I'll do one for earlier this month, and I'll do a subsequent one for after they do the AMA and balance patch, all that good stuff. Streams, I've been putting up schedules, and we'll see how those go. I might actually just tear it down and just give you guys like a general idea of the week that I want instead. Because it's hard to schedule things because I don't know when I'm going to be.
Why don't you actually ping me and Krista when you're going to play League? Huh?
Ooh.
He doesn't like us anymore.
Oh, we're going back to the 4 box. This is a fight.
I believe my Discord channel puts up what I'm streaming, so
That's the only problem is Discord ends up notifying me like an hour after you start streaming.
really, that's weird.
Yeah, like even the notifications for I got the notification for Talking Skritt going live from the from the Talking Skritt Discord. Links in the description. Subtle. I got the notification like at 20 after 4.
That's
So-
why if you want up-to-date things, you should follow everybody on Twitter and all that stuff, see?
There you go, that too. But yeah, I'll probably play League of Legends on Tuesday. I'll probably throw in some BDO. Guild Wars 2, try to get some World in. And yeah, we'll see what else we can throw
You're
in.
going to hop into BDO when I saw you playing Warframe. You're going to insult me like that. I see how it is.
Oh, I can. I
No,
will,
no,
we'll
no.
have
I already switched cameras. You're done.
Sometime
No,
this-
you're apparently playing
sometime
BDO
this
this
month.
week. That's
Wow. Yeah. This
You
week,
can find-
next weekend, we'll play some with Warframe with Dale.
You can find me at simply_Dale on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you are just popping in at the very end, we do an after show, so stick around. I'm blanking on everything. I have to. I'm so out of it.
Dauntless, Warframe, Monster
Yeah, I'll
Hunter.
be probably
I don't
playing
know.
Warframe and stuff, but I also played ESO. I was having fun with that. Can't wait to hear more stuff about Guild Wars 2, though. But yes, thank you, everybody. I'm really horrible at this outro today. I want to thank all the Twitch hosts this week. There's so many. Jeez. Inky Sticks, Aurora Peachy, SOTD_podcast, 7-Bit Brian, Sundora, MMO Inks, host of Ascalon, Kasky, Jaibu Cool, Kit the Traveler, That Chevron, Mabel Syrup and Beers, and JD_Shadow. Yes, I just got through them all without it switching. Woo! Sorry, personal victory for me. But yeah, if you are popping at the end and watch the full show, we do highlight it on Twitch. But we also do throw up on our YouTube channel. Just search Talking Skritt, usually the first one that pops up. And that goes up on Sundays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And yes, we'll see everybody next week for hopefully balance patch nudes. And we will see everybody in the game. Good night, everybody.
Good night, friends.